James.
Rosie.
Jimothy.
How you doing?
And Simon.
Hi.
Who's, because we're in ACAST today.
We are.
And Simon, who you guys have heard of, we've talked about Simon.
Mm.
He's an ACAST extraordinaire person. Job title. What's your job title?
I'm the Senior Partnerships Manager of the Creator Network, which is very boring. So just
That thing.
call me the Podfather.
He's the Podfather. Yeah. I love that you
Please,
said that.
Simon.
Like you were being so humble. Just call me the
He's
Podfather.
obviously used that line before as well.
The Podfather's helping us record from the ACAST studio today because it's the first time we've done
lurking
it
in the
since
corner.
they have a new fancy studio.
This is a big deal for me. I've been a fan of Just the Gist for many, many years.
Put your pants back on.
Sorry.
And actually, Simon was the one who was the first person to send me the video that we're doing today's mini about. So let me do my intro. Oh, I give it away in the first sentence. So I don't know why I was acting like that was going to be a big lead up. Okay, so we've covered Gypsy Rose Blanchard quite a bit on Just the Gist. She's kind of part of JTG lore, if you will. It was one of the first episodes I did on the original JTG, and then it was one of the first Rosie's Versions episodes we did on JTG 2.0. And then James and we did a 2-part book club episode because I think we talked for about almost 3 hours about her memoir, My Time to Stand, which I don't think that title gets enough credit for.
It's brilliant.
As how brilliant it is. We also talked in Breaker News, our subscription Patreon bonus episode each week, in detail about her TV show Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. And as soon as she announced she was doing cameos, we ordered one for our dog Pocket. And she started following me on Instagram, Gypsy Rose herself, over Christmas, slid into my DMs to thank us for not tricking her into doing a mean cameo because I think she gets tricked into doing those a lot. And she was just relieved that we wanted a dumb one for our dog. So here at JTG, James and I in particular keep track of what Miss Gypsy Rose Blanchard is up to. And we've both noticed that she's been changing a lot, would you say?
She's in her Eras tour.
She's going through her Eras tour, and we've sort of been clocking it, and mentioned some of it in Breaking News sometimes. But then all of these changes over the past weekend culminated in her joking about murdering her mum with a famous troll TikToker.
Uh-oh.
And so we decided it might be time to do an emergency mini because I think it's time we check in with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So I guess the title, I haven't really picked one yet, but it's in my notes I've just got, what the hell is going on with Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Mini!
I love it.
Mini!
I love it.
So if you haven't listened to our Just the Gist episode on Gypsy Rose, you should stop and go and do that, obviously.
It's brilliant. Do you want to give us a bit of a...
Yes, but
for those who haven't listened.
But if you haven't, the gist of the gist is Gypsy Rose Blanchard. It's a very famous true crime case. You probably, even if you think you don't know the name, you would know the pictures or the story. It was a girl whose mother had Munchausen's by proxy, forced her didn't force her to pretend she was sick, kind of convinced her she was sick, she says. Her entire childhood, kept her infantilized, thinking she was 10 years younger, or at least pretending she was 10 years younger than she was, in a wheelchair. You know, she had a shaved head, her teeth had fallen out, she was fed through a tube, she only got around in a wheelchair, apparently couldn't walk, but secretly at night times, she was walking, she was hitting the fridge, she was chatting to boys online, finding boyfriends, wearing Disney wigs, feeling herself, having some fun. Mm-hmm. I meant feeling herself as in her vibe, not the, but also the other thing. She was both. When she hit puberty, she couldn't be stopped, and it got to a point where she got sick of her mother, I guess, keeping her prisoner, and she and the person who was her boyfriend at the time planned to and then did murder her mother, Gypsy Rose, because of the fact she had been abused for so long in this situation with her mum. And because she wasn't the one who did the actual murdering, the boyfriend did it, even though they both planned it, she was given 8.5 years. Well, she was given 10 years in prison, but she served 8.5.
And the crazy thing about the story is that nobody knew that Gypsy Rose wasn't a disabled child.
Wasn't a disabled child.
Until her mother was dead and they were looking for Gypsy.
Yeah.
And then discovered
like
she wasn't a disabled child this whole time. So there's a whole layer to this story.
even her father, who was mostly
Yes.
estranged because her mother kept them apart from each other, he turned up to her first arraignment after she got arrested, and he was shocked when she walked into the courtroom because he didn't even think he didn't know she could walk.
Yeah.
No one knew she could walk. No one knew she could talk. Everyone thought she was like intellectually disabled, so that she had the mental capacity of a child, and they thought she couldn't walk. They thought she was, essentially like an incredibly sick, dying 6-year-old, and she was actually a completely fine, absolutely nothing wrong with her. I think at the time she was arrested, she was like 24. And
It's one of my favorite stories.
It's
JTG and otherwise.
it's a crazy
so good.
story. I mean, that was the gist of the gist. Go listen to the episode, obviously. But because the story is so crazy, it like took the world by storm. So there was a lot of interest in it. While she was in prison, there was a documentary on her, and grossly seeing a documentary about a, mid-20s woman who had been raised as pretending to be a child until a couple of years earlier turned a lot of guys on. And so she started getting a lot of romantic interest in prison, like letters from men and stuff. So she started like dating guys. She got engaged and married while she was in prison. She was doing Dr. Phil in prison. Like there was press about her, and she started, she was able to finally, once she was away from her mother and getting proper nutrition and like exercise. I mean, we talk about it in our episode that bizarrely for Gypsy Rose, being in prison for the first time in her life was actually when she was free. And so she, grew into her body more. They did some work on her teeth. She grew out her hair. She started just looking like a normal young woman. And then in the lead up to her release, press interest started getting like massive. So a book deal was planned, a show was planned called Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. So from the moment she was released, when her husband came and picked her up, there were cameras with them filming everything. And so she's had a bizarre life in which she was completely sheltered in this abusive dynamic where she was forced to pretend she was a child, even though in her mind she knew she wasn't. She escapes that scenario and is in prison for 8.5 years.
Where she's the most free she's ever been.
And then she leaves prison and immediately goes into like a Hollywood reality TV filming style situation. And so that's kind of like what her deal has been. And then, the reality show was crazy entertaining because she realized she didn't want to be with the guy she had married, and there was another guy that had proposed to her while she was in prison, so she went back to that guy. And then there was a whole lot of like drama because she got pregnant and they didn't know who the dad was, and then she kept like deciding that she maybe wanted the first guy and then she wanted the second guy actually, but she didn't know who was the baby daddy, and there was a lot of argument, and it was just like the most entertaining thing in the whole entire world.
It was like a coming of age drama.
And all of this was while a woman who was, I think, about 30 at the time, early 30s by then, she seems like a teenager. Both like intellectually, she's very intelligent, but emotionally, maturity-wise, she seems like a teenager. And I would say she is emotionally, 14 or 15. Like she's very immature emotionally. Then, though, the show Life After Lockup, it got cancelled after 2 seasons. And at the end of that show, she was with this guy, Ken, she'd married. They had determined through genetics that Ron, her first husband, was not the father. It was Ken's baby. So she has this baby that they call Aurora. She's with Ken. The show ends. And I'm pretty sure she wasn't expecting it, nor did she want it to end. I think financially it was important for them to have that show, but it did. And when the show ended, I remember she and Ken announced they were pivoting to be like family bloggers.
Yeah.
So they were pushing their YouTube channel. So they launched this YouTube channel called Magic in the Chaos. Real life, family, love, growth. Gypsy Rose and Ken Urquhart. So this is it here. And she was really pushing it, I remember at the time.
Yeah.
She was putting up clips and
There was a subscription model as well.
there was a subscription model. She wanted people to... Did you subscribe, Simon?
I did not.
I just heard you go, like maybe you did. I was like, ooh.
I remember seeing something on TikTok about her promoting it, and I was like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I mean, I think she was... I think... Income-wise, they were probably worried. I mean, that's just me speculating wildly, but I'm assuming income-wise they were probably worried. And I think also it would be very scary to go from the life she had with her mother, which was completely sheltered and regimented, then into being kind of institutionalized in prison, like there is absolute total routine in prison, then going from that to filming a reality show, like you are told where to be, where to go, when to be there, someone drives you there, whatever. And then all of a sudden it stopped, she had a baby and nothing else.
Yeah.
Like that would have been very confronting.
And I don't think Gypsy Rose is someone who can feasibly go and get a regular job.
No, I don't.
Like, it's impossible.
I mean, I think maybe she could. I don't know if she wants to. But I think maybe she, I think she just was in this place where it was like, oh, the attention's worn off because it's been a few years since she was out of prison, show cancelled, book tour done. Probably the big chunk of money she got from the book had, you generally with a book, you get your chunk of money and then that's it kind of. So she had a baby, and
it's the first time she's actually had time.
Just with nothing, right? Yeah. Which for people who have a lot of mental stuff and trauma to deal with, silence and time. No, thank you. La 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 la. So I suspect a lot of this was needing to be figuring out who she is and what she's going to do now that all this chaos of the last 15 years or whatever has stopped, and also probably income, I think, has a lot to do with this.
But the reason why we're tuned into Gypsy Rose is because of the chaos and the history.
Yeah,
and I'm not so interested in watching her kind of like hanging out with her family doing like...
Well, let me read to you some of these, some of these videos that she put up to get us hooked in after the drama of life after lockup. Bassinet training a newborn. 8 minutes, that one.
See, I don't understand these videos anyway. I'm not understanding who's watching these videos to begin with.
LED lighted kayak tour with Ken. Okay.
I'll probably tune into that one.
Yeah, that one actually sounds really good.
Easy slow cooker chicken and dumplings. Oh, actually,
you like dumplings?
I love dumplings. Actually,
you're proving your point here.
Yeah, we're really
Scrap this.
I'm into this. And then family trip to the aquarium. That kind of thing. There's not that many videos. There's about 20, less than 20 videos there for the past year. So I don't think the family blogger thing took off. She was hoping to become like a massive family blogger. And then we noticed
next era?
Yeah, she started going through eras. And so the next one we noticed was her art phase. So all of a sudden, and she does this thing where she just periodically completely wipes her Instagram clean, and that's when you know she's about to launch a new era.
Yeah. When
so
the art phase happened, I was devastated because her Instagram just disappeared, and I was like, where's all the classic Gypsy Rose?
Yeah.
Like discovering herself kind of content where she just posts the most bizarro as things, like she was using Instagram for the very first time. Yeah. Gone. And I was like, and now I've just got art? No.
It was her Instagram back when she was using it like that. It was kind of like Britney Spears-esque, but you know how Britney does the long captions? Like Gypsy was just talking that and just about like who she is and what's going on, and also a lot of stuff about the drama to do with her ex-husband and all that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, and it was so entertaining, and then wiped.
Yeah.
I like that you guys describe her wiping the feed as like the Library of Alexandria.
It
lost
was.
Media.
We were devastated. What a cultural loss. What a significant cultural loss. No, I remember James being really
so
devo.
sad. And I remember the time you saying to me, this won't last long.
It won't
the new
last.
era will come along soon.
Because I suspect, I mean, I know a little bit about trauma, stemming from childhood. But what I see her doing is what a lot of people do they feel a bit identityless. Like, I think she really struggles with her identity. She talks a lot about trying to figure out who she is and not quite knowing who she is. And she's 34, but is she really? Because she's got all this Arrested Development. And I think just over the last year, she's been trying on all these different hats, but she just always does it very publicly. And every time she finds a new one, she's like, this is it. And she makes a big announcement. And then like 3 weeks later, it's done. So with the art one, she wiped her whole Insta and then just was like, this is now called Gypsy Rose Art or something. She changed the name of her handle, which is like not easy. And she just started making resin art, kind of like the Chappelle Corby clocks. Because Chappelle Corby famously makes these like resin clocks that we each bought each other.
Too,
Of course we did.
What did you think of the art?
Like, it was fine. It's
I thought it was terrible.
It's
terrible art.
All of the women on Pinterest and Etsy and stuff who make that resin art, it's all the same. It's like they just put paint into resin and then let it drip down the canvas.
Do you think they all learned it in prison? Like it's a class and that's why they're all doing it?
I thought maybe it was a prison thing, or I think maybe it's an art therapy thing. I think maybe it's, and so that would make sense that they do it in prison. So maybe it's that. But so she started doing that and she was like pricing the artworks, like it'd be like $1,000 for like this tiny A4 like little resin thing. And I was like, God bless, but I good luck to you though. And so her whole Instagram was just, she was like, I want to be a private person now. This is just all about the art. This is how I'm choosing to express myself. This is now my purpose in life, is this resin art. And so her only Instagram pictures were of the art she was selling. And then, like I suspected, that did not last. So the art kind of, I think it lasted maybe a month, weeks maybe. And then she suddenly announced the art all disappeared. That just went away. And I would have ironically bought one, but she priced it so high. Like we bought each other's Chappelle clocks. We could have bought
like 5 Chappelle clocks for that.
Yeah, she priced it so high. And so then all the art disappeared. And then she brought back a bunch of her old content on the Insta, but none of these sort of deranged, just talking nonsense ones, just pics of her and Ken and Aurora and, you know, family photos or whatever. And she announced she was starting a podcast. And it was so funny because she started putting up these clips where she was sitting in a chair like we are now, but it was just her. And she was looking into the camera, answering questions like she was being interviewed, but there was no one else there. Like, so it was just like a podcast where she was giving long monologues, but there was no one else there.
What was the theme of the content?
I think she was hoping to pivot back into, because she had done a lot of like victims' rights stuff, rights for women in prison stuff, you know, advocating for childhood survivors of, you know, abuse or specifically Munchausen's by proxy. And so she sort of like she kept putting these clips out where she was just really talking about like where she's at mentally and emotionally. And I remember seeing a comment under one of them going like, why have you made it look like you're talking to you're being interviewed by someone? And she responded like, kind of like this person was an idiot. Like, this is a common camera angle they use in podcasting. Like, this
Simon, can
this is the miss on scene.
Yeah, like, and so she was kind of like, you don't get it kind of thing. And so she started putting up and like I was waiting for the podcast. I was like, yep, I'm on board. Let's go.
So it's very like Brené Brown, if Brené Brown had murdered her mother.
Kind of.
I like it. That's a good angle.
But then there was only ever these few clips from this interview with herself.
So we never actually got
there was never a podcast anywhere. There just these clips. And so that sort of took us to the end of 2025. And then on January 2nd.
Hold on, would Acast have signed a Gypsy Rose podcast?
I can double check that. I feel like that would definitely come across my table at some point.
Yeah. Can you imagine being like the client relationship manager or whatever your job is for Gypsy Rose?
My God.
The sponsorships.
The sponsor. Yeah, what's? Oh no, we shouldn't speculate. No. That'll get inappropriate fast.
Dating websites.
Yeah, I don't know. So on January 2nd of this year, she posted another one of those podcasty interview clips. And But in this one, she talks a bit about God and her faith. And this is one that went up at the same time that her content all went full religious. And you and I noticed it at the time because it was around the time she followed me on Instagram and messaged me, and we were like, oh, she must be lonely or something. Like I very politely messaged her back and said, we talked about you on the show and, you know, thanks for the follow or whatever. And but I was just sort of like, line in the sand, thanks. And we noticed that all her content went super God. And she was saying stuff like, you know, my faith is what's got me through. I'm so glad, like, you know, my Jesus being very like Jesus is my boyfriend kind of faith. That almost evangelical, you know, that kind of Jesus faith. Yeah, Simon knows.
Simon, but you know, I feel like that is what these religions want. They want someone who's had some kind of history, some kind of past, and their kind of transformation has come from being saved. She would be great. Like a face of a church.
And she was doing it like, I mean, I'm not religiously looking at her content all the time, but whenever she popped up on my Instagram feed, it was religious stuff. And I was like, okay, so
I get it. That's a good fit for her brand.
And I get it. And I can see like, you know, I sort of gave the emotional, mental explanation before that I think she's looking for identity and blah, blah, blah. But I do also think cynically from a branding career income point of view, she's looking to position herself somewhere. She's been flailing since the show ended, like in terms of like how she's going to start making income, and all she kind of really understands is being a brand and being a front-facing person on a screen. Like, and so I think she just pivoted. I don't think so much she cared about religion. I think she just pivoted to being a religious influencer. Like, I think that's what it was, really. I may be too cynical.
She could have gone full right wing as well.
I was waiting for that to happen. And so she was posting all this super religious stuff. And I'll play you a clip. So this is what she posted on January 2nd. So this is the kind of stuff she was posting when she went full religion.
New Year. So with the new year comes, of course, New Year's resolutions. So this year, my resolution is to honestly prioritize my family, really kind of hone in on the things that are important to me. I really want to do some kind of group
Who is she talking to?
within our church.
Who is she talking to?
I think that would be really insightful and inspiring to kind of get me in the right direction.
Who is she talking to? I don't
know. I've always kind of struggled with my faith, and so really sort of getting back into the right path that I think that God wants me to walk. I feel like it's been such a journey for me trying to figure out like where my place is in the world. I've been out of prison for 2 years now, and I feel like I'm still kind of like finding myself and figuring out where I belong. What is my purpose? I think everybody feels that way at some point in their life, and I'm coming to the realization that I'm 34 years old, and I really just want to honestly just become that, like, I want to become that version of myself that I always envisioned for myself. So, taking the steps to get there. Everyone knows that in the last 2 years, I have been extremely messy on social media and just in my life in general. And so I've learned so much from 2024 and 2025. That, you know, learning these life lessons that I never got to when I was a teen or early 20s, I'm only kind of figuring out that now, and I feel like I'm literally stumbling through my life. So finding my footing of where I belong, where I think that I would be most useful in life. I know I'm useful to my family, but it's kind of like, what is my bigger purpose in life? So definitely focusing on like trying to be less messy,
Didn't last long.
The best version of myself for my daughter, raising her to be kind, compassionate, a child of God. Like, all of these things I have constantly on my head.
Okay, so I wanted to play you that clip because it was one of the podcast clips where she's talking to no one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, that's the thing with Gypsy. On the one hand, she can be messy and ridiculous, but on the other hand, she's always incredibly insightful. Like, everything she just said there is, yeah, she hit the nail on the head of exactly where she's at. Yes, she's always good at that.
Ghostwriters, like co-writers with her book, but her book was excellently written.
Fantastic.
Had fantastic points made.
Yeah.
So that is a strength. She's wearing kind of like beige from head to toe there. Very kind of like
conservative.
Gwyneth Paltrow on trial kind of esque.
Very like religious housewifey kind.
Yes.
You know, she's got this beige cardigan on. She's got, she's been wearing wigs. She said she bleached her hair and it went really short and she hated it. So she's got this like long sort of just very conservative brunette wig on. And all of her content around this time is just pictures of like her with her kids and her dog and stuff. But she speaks very eloquently and articulately about where she's at right now. Like, I would agree with everything she just said there. I'm like, yeah, that is where you're at. And so I was like, okay, full God pivot. Like, that's what we're doing. But then I think, like, this is the thing with her. I think she's also trying to sell it. I think that whole video was like, this is me launching Gypsy Rose, religious content creator. Like, that's what she was doing. But you know what? She needs to make money and she's trying on this hat. So I was like, great. But then we get to
New era.
Okay, so that was January 2nd. She posts a couple more things, a picture of her and Ken on holiday, whatever. But then, bam, February 27.
Oh, so like
she suddenly, almost 2 months later, she posts out of nowhere this like TikTok sexy dance, like TikToker style video in which she looks super glam. Her body looks amazing. People are speculating she's at a BBL.
Because I was not sure if this was a filter or not when I first saw it. I was like, what is going on here? Because the physical transformation is huge.
So we're going from January 2nd, that video we just listened to about finding herself and God and faith and whatever, to this. Less than 2 months later.
She can dance.
She's not dance.
The bum of the fart. Oh, sexy.
Okay. So she does this.
What?
And that's pretty tame.
What did you first when you saw that? What did you first think?
When I saw that, I was just, it's pretty tame.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mormon wives do mom talk. They do sexier dances than that. So I was like,
but I thought physically her body looked so different than what have used to. I thought maybe it was some kind of like filter or AI, because now on social media I can't actually trust what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Is real. So I had seen her generate AI clips.
She loves
before
a filter
of like the back of her walking and then like she grows like wings and flies away. Like I've seen her generate a whole lot of AI clips, and so I was not sure if that was one of them.
So I remember seeing that and just thinking like, I had suspected in that first video where she was being interviewed by no one, she's launching a religious influencer career. So I thought, this is just her doing a mum talk type thing. But then a few days later, she starts doing even more kind of TikTok content. So this is a few days after that dance video.
I can't go out. I'm sick.
So she's just doing these like, this is just a TikTok trend. She's doing her makeup. And then she starts doing like, get ready with me.
Dropping my makeup routine. So I first go in with Thirst Burst Drops by e.l.f.
But I want to point out here, this isn't sponsored.
Oh, not sponsored.
No,
okay.
I think she's just trying to put out the optic. It's the optics. She's trying to make it look like she's doing sponsored content, and then the sponsored content will come.
If you were a brand, would you want Gypsy Rose to be
it's a tough one, isn't it?
For you?
It's
yeah,
a tough one. It's
people
a tough
would
sell.
see it. People would talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough
If you
sell.
wanted eyes,
yeah.
I feel like
that's solely what you wanted.
There's
You'd get
been more
attention.
controversial people who have had sponsorships, you know?
Yeah. So that wasn't sponsored, but I think she's like trying to build something. She's clearly trying to build this as a career. And so then she starts posting more things like that, all this kind of, again, not sponsored, a whole video for a tanning product that is just her doing it herself. Then she does post a video of her weight saying, you know, everyone's talking about my body and I've just, you know, I'm not eating prison junk anymore and I'm losing my baby weight. And it's like, okay. And then, so then she's sort of over the next, like, few, like, I'd say the next, well, up till now, starts posting more. No religion is mentioned. Nope. And if you go back through her Insta, she had very quietly wiped all the previous religious stuff she had put up. And then she just starts posting straight up content creator, like TikToker style content.
I'm also noticing there's no husband or baby in any of this new.
In hardly any of them. It's all her. I mean, here we have like, she does a like wardrobe makeover, and then she's doing a sexy little dance in her sexy pajamas.
See, that doesn't look real to me, that shot.
Maybe she's mastered AI.
That's the video that came up in my feed a while ago where I was like, oh.
Whoa, Gypsy.
Okay, Gypsy.
Yeah, like she's just doing all these. It looks like she's a 22-year-old TikToker. Like the girls who do those little dances where they jump and then their outfit changes or they're doing their makeup and they're, you know, she's doing all that kind of content. And just not, I guess, babies don't fit. So no more posting of husband or baby. And so then she starts doing, this one was so interesting to me. She, again, not sponsored, but she's trying to get in on these trends and like trying to market herself as this, like she's putting on this hat and she's really like devoting to it.
Come with me as I go shopping at the mall, and I only want to spend what is on these gift cards. Let's see if I can actually stand by this and not spend anything else other than what is on these gift cards.
Like boring.
Who watches this shit?
I don't know. That was just her
who
sitting in the front seat of her car being like, I'm going to go do this thing with these gift cards. And that was, see if I can do the gift cards. That was March 13. So that was like, what, less than 2 weeks ago. And then, she does a haul with all the stuff she gets with the gift cards. And then on like just about a week ago, she posts for the very first time a sexy bikini shot in the mirror.
Oh.
So she's like now
leaned
into like full on just like sexy content. And then for the first time 3 days ago, so 3 days as of we're recording right now, was the first time she actually just came out and called herself a content creator. This one, travel with me as a content creator. And she's like packing her bag and filming herself on a plane going to a place. The place she was going, Florida. The reason she's going there, to meet another TikToker called Natalie Reynolds so they can collaborate on content together.
Interesting.
That brings us up to the big controversy that happened 2 days ago.
And this is what TikTokers do, don't they? Because they collab with one another and then they just kind of like...
to get each other's audiences.
Yeah.
So Natalie Reynolds...
Yeah, tell me about this. Tell me about this shit, because I saw her pop up and I was like, I have zero context.
Yeah.
What, who, what, where, when, how?
Seriously, it's exactly what you think. She's a 26-year-old LA-based like TikTok content creator. She was originally part of an account with this guy called Zach. It was like they called their account Zach and Natalie, and they would just do the kind of online YouTube video, TikTok video stuff that I guess Mr. Beast made famous. Like they would post pranks and challenges, going up to people publicly on the street and like pranking them or asking them things or making them uncomfortable, that kind of thing. She built up 6 million followers on TikTok and 5.6 million on YouTube. What? And in 2025, she really became more known outside of just her fan base community, because she did a prank where she paid a homeless woman $20 to jump into the Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas. And then as the woman was screaming that she couldn't swim, Natalie just ran off. And the fire department had to be called to like help this homeless woman. And her TikTok account was banned. And then she went viral again because she filmed content that she put on YouTube, a video of her crying outside of TikTok's headquarters trying to beg them to reinstate her TikTok account.
Because that would have massive financial implications for her because that's where
Of
she's
course
getting
it
the money.
would. Yeah, because they can monetize it over there. I don't really understand how any of it works. But like, anybody who, it's not that like she filmed that live or whatever and it went wrong and she ran off. She filmed it with this homeless woman, had the idea to do it, filmed it, ran off. The fire department was called because it all went horribly wrong. She still edited it and uploaded it thinking it was entertaining, hilarious content. So this is like a very, I was going to say morally ambiguous, but I would say like morally bankrupt person. And so...
just pure evil.
Just awful. And so...
And Gypsy saw that and thought, actually...
Gypsy Rose, after she posts her Get Ready With Me packing as a content creator, next she posts a selfie with Natalie Reynolds and she says, Natalie Reynolds, love heart, watch our collabs on TikTok. And so everyone's waiting for...
This Natalie Reynolds
a video.
Has seen Gypsy and just like... Gypsy's just been exploited again by another person.
I don't know though.
No?
I mean, yes and no, because I'm going to play you the video that got Gypsy into trouble first, but she did an interview with TMZ this morning in which I think Gypsy's brain is so cooked in terms of like having an understanding of how the entertainment business works and what she should be doing. The way she answers the questions on TMZ, she honestly is struggling to understand. She's like, but this is just, she basically says to TMZ, oh, I did it because in order to get a lot of attention, you do something really shocking and awful and then lots of people watch.
She's understanding the attention economy.
But she was saying it really innocently, like she didn't realize there was anything wrong with saying that. Like it's bizarre. So let me play you the video in which for the first time, Gypsy kind of joked about this because I think everybody famously remembers when she got out of prison, she was doing a lot of press and she went on The View and Joy mentioned something about like her not deserving as much punishment as she got or something. And then Gypsy jumped in and went, well, murder is wrong, Joy. And then Joy was like, oh my God, I forgot you even did that. And it was like this funny thing because Gypsy was like, no, we're not pretending I didn't do this. Like she's always been, when it comes down to it, been like, it was an awful thing. I had my mother killed, whatever. This is the first time she's really ever joked about it. And so people who haven't really been keeping track of her, all they really know is that like a month ago she was super religious and then they see her pop up in this video with this really famous TikToker. So let me play this for you.
We listen and we don't judge. One time I dared a homeless woman $20 to jump into a lake and then she said she couldn't swim and I ran away laughing. We don't judge.
We don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
It's like
I
a
went to
trend.
prison for 8.5 years because my own mom.
Oh my God.
Hey, we listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. I really like to cup my hand.
And so they do a few other dumb ones.
Yeah. Look, I have shown a lot of like empathy for Gypsy Rose.
Yeah.
I've kind of like sat in the nuance of it and but this is like crosses the line for me.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does.
Let me
Because also like not clever. It's also kind of like just like playing into just like the TikTok trend for the moment.
Yeah.
And thinking it's funny. Like, and imagine this like whatever her name is, TikTok lady, Natalie blah blah
Reynolds.
blah, would just have definitely encourage her doing that, like this is so funny, you should definitely do this.
Yeah. So wait, I'm just pulling up
No,
the
not
clip.
cool.
Do you think there's ever going to be a point where Gypsy's allowed to joke about it? Or do you think that...
No.
I agree.
I don't know, like... No, sorry, I was like... I had my head half in this. No, I mean, like... No, it just... You can't... It just...
Agreed.
You just... It's the same as
I don't
like...
think you're allowed to joke about the people that you were involved in murdering.
Agreed.
Exactly.
I think that's the thing.
Agreed.
And I
you
think-
can joke that if someone, if you weren't involved, but because you were involved, if you're the murderer, you don't get to joke about it.
No, I was saying to James this morning, Simon, that like it's not like someone like Anna Delvey it works because Anna Delvey just ripped off billionaires.
Yeah.
She can ironically lean into what's funny about her situation, and people like her leaning into her ridiculousness is what will work for her.
Yeah.
But when it comes to someone like Belle Gibson, Gypsy Rose, Elizabeth Holmes, no, that doesn't work. You can't do it.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going to work. I honestly, and this is why I keep bringing up the income thing, I think she tried the victims advocate thing. She tried the trauma awareness thing. She tried the mental health thing, but it wasn't making enough money.
But also, I don't think it's just a money thing. I think there is something appealing about
Since
being beloved and adored and having that kind of attention. And when she was a child, like doing the charity circuit, she was a celebrity sick kid.
Yeah, and since being out of prison, she's only known being famous and doing, I mean, I don't want to say the easy work, but come on, the easy work of just being on a TV show that follows you around. Like, she's not really had to, like when you said to me before, do you think she could get a real job? Or like, I think she could. If she had wanted, she could have left prison, gone to a small town where her dad lives and just worked at like, I don't know, a fish restaurant.
A fishing restaurant.
Well, you know how her dad
you catch your own fish.
And then they all just eat fish gumbo or whatever they eat. Like, she could very easily have done that. But true. She didn't want to, I think. Okay, so this interview that she did on TMZ is so bizarre to me. I'm like, your brain is broken, because she's saying the quiet thing out loud that not even the trolliest TikTokers admit to, which is like, oh, you just do the really awful thing and then you get lots of views and attention. Like, and she's kind of saying it like someone, I'm suspecting this Natalie Reynolds girl, has explained that to her, and she just thinks, oh, everybody does this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, Gypsy, they don't. This is awful. So, okay, here we go. This is in response to the backlash she got.
For making a controversial joke referencing the murder of her mother. Joining me now is Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Welcome, Gypsy.
Hi.
Woo. So, Gypsy, how did the video come about?
So the video was a concept because I had wanted to collab with Natalie Reynolds. I had been following her for quite some time. She's another influencer with millions of followers. And with anyone, when you're doing a collaboration, you want to look into what their background is. And so a few friends of mine also told me about a video that she got a lot of backlash for. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this could be a really good collab if done the right way. Because I'm like, I'm no one to judge.
She just said, basically, so I looked into her and found out she had paid a homeless woman to jump into a lake and then ran off when she was drowning. And I thought, this could be a really good collab. What is going on with Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Okay, let's keep going.
Anyone's past, obviously. And so I'm like, what happens if we did we listen and we don't judge trend, and we just hit the hard topics, very bluntly, and just own it and take accountability for the wrongs that we've done.
Now looking back, can you see why some people felt it crossed the line?
I can, especially with me particularly. I understand that my audience has always followed my journey because they like to see me grow. And so usually I think I could bank on my audience receiving things very well. But I'm not the type of person to be very in your face about my past. So this is like the first time that I tried something different and a head-on approach. And I just don't, unfortunately, it wasn't received
she can see
like
that
we wanted.
So some people feel like when you did the part where you're like, my mom, that it was you showing that you don't have remorse. Do you feel that that's the case?
No, that wasn't the case. The only reason why I did this is because I had a conversation with Natalie, and TikTok is extremely sensitive when it comes to how you word things. So we deliberated on, words that we could possibly use, and everything that we thought of, homicide, unalive, all of these things may have gotten flagged by TikTok and the video taken down. And so I'm like, what happens if I just do a
James is crying.
X? Like, people know what that means without having to actually say.
Stop talking.
For people wanting you to apologize for this TikTok video, to that you say what?
I say that I do deeply apologize to anyone who
may have been offended by it. That was never my intention. Like, I was not laughing about it. I don't think it's funny to joke about a heavy topic and my past. Like, I apologize because the delivery was wrong on that. I am trying to be my authentic self. And if my authentic self is saying, I did something bad in my past, but look at where I am now, that's where I'm coming from with it. But I would never joke about my past.
Gypsy sparked backlash.
It was the
online for
delivery
making
that
a
was wrong.
It was the
I
delivery.
just
that was
love
wrong.
that the interviewer kind of said, "Oh, when you said that was really bad." She took it as like not saying the word.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not the point. The point isn't which word do you use. Do you use homicide, TikTok's algorithm? Like that wasn't the point of the question.
We didn't want this video where I joke about killing my mum to get banned. So we really had to think about
what are you talking about?
What are you like?
What are you talking about?
Do you see how bizarre that is? Like,
But from that video, I think she was manipulated into doing this. I do.
I think maybe a little. I think she wants to become a big TikTok star.
But I think people have told her, do this. Yeah. Like, I don't
But
necessarily
she's
think.
not an
I don't know if this
idiot.
video was her idea.
No way. She's not she's smart though. Like, she's really smart.
I feel like she regrets it.
I don't. Do you?
You don't think so?
I mean, she hasn't asked. Natalie hasn't taken it down. She's still tagged in it, and she would have to. She would have to accept the tag. Like, Simon, do you think she we never have a tiebreaker? Do you think that she got manipulated into doing that, or that she kind of is just cynically trying to be?
Is she the driving force?
Everything feels the slightest bit calculated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I think it was calculated. I think maybe. It's like if you become a thing and the person teaching you how to be that thing is the worst kind of person. So she's decided she wants to be a TikToker. This Natalie girl has jumped in and been like, well, I'm a very successful TikToker until she got banned, I guess. Or maybe she's unbanned now. I don't know. But I'll tell you how it works. And so Natalie has explained to her how it works. But Gypsy is still the one who is hoping to build clout and followers and attention and monetize this. And she kind of realized it didn't take much to convince her, oh, yeah, just start exploiting the fact you murdered your mum to get views because then you'll get money.
Yeah.
It didn't take much convincing because she literally, we just went through the timeline. She literally pivoted to TikToker style content on February, in February at some point, and it's now and she did this by March 20th.
I'm going to ask a technical question that you may not be able to answer. Because it was posted to Natalie's account, does Natalie get the money for this?
I don't know because I don't know how to make money off social media. I wish I
just wonder,
did. Simon would know.
If Natalie is the one benefiting financially from...
She would be directly...
Getting
because
the
she'd be
money.
getting the AdSense or something from it.
Yeah.
But hopefully, again, Gypsy said out loud, she goes, well, if I do this, then there's a leverage that I get out of this, which can lead to more.
For Gypsy, I'd say the agreement, she flew to Florida, so I think the plan is to do more videos while she's there. But I think for Gypsy, the agreement probably was the video goes on Natalie's account, but Gypsy gets her followers. Because Gypsy has a fraction of the followers she has. Yeah. So it's
a social clout.
Yeah. It's about building exposure to her audience. And so that TMZ interview dropped this morning, so that's where Gypsy's at.
I also saw this weird paparazzi
videos
of them kind of weirdly walking around and posing with nobody else around.
Yeah, so
it was awkward and staged.
While Gypsy is in Florida with this Natalie girl, I guess she flew there. I guess their plan was to just film a whole bunch of those little TikTok trend videos. I mean, how many jokes can you make about drowning a homeless woman and killing your mother? And we also saw TMZ did the video footage, and TMZ pays for this stuff. So I reckon TMZ was like, look, we'll pay you for give us this footage if you do an interview with us or something. Maybe. They make agreements like that all the time. But it was basically outside of a hotel, I guess, where they're staying, and Natalie and Gypsy are all dressed up like they're going out to a club or something, and they're on their phones and holding their handbags, and they walk out of the hotel kind of acting like Paris and Nicole and Brittany walking out of a club in 2008 when there was like 1,000 photographers and they're all going, oh my God, stop. And they're like posing. Gypsy and Natalie.
They don't seem to go anywhere.
Well, first of all, it's daylight. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and there's no one else around because I think it's just like an apartment building or a hotel or something. And they walk out and there's like one camera on them and they're going, Gypsy. And her and Natalie are like, oh, stop, like respect celebrity privacy kind of. And then they have some more footage of they walk over and sit on like a little ledge outside the hotel. And they're just like they're sitting there like casually having a conversation, but they're both like very, tits out, like arched back, like trying to pose, and they're just sort of laughing like, ha ha ha, oh, there's definitely not cameras on us right now, ha 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 ha. And so that footage went up on TMZ. So she's clearly now also selling like paparazzi, you don't get paid a lot. MAF stars in Australia do it. You get paid maybe $1,000. They get pictures of you at the beach or whatever, like you set it up with the Daily Mail. So I just, the pivot from art to podcaster to Jesus to this, it's like woofed.
I think she's losing some of her social likability.
Yeah, she is.
Through the desperation of this.
She is. And this I really think because you're either, I think she was beloved by the people she was going to be beloved by. We liked her.
Yeah.
And there were always going to be people who just were like, no, absolutely not. She did something awful, right? But like the fact that she made this video now has turned even the people who liked her against her now. And when that happens, but you're still desperate for clout and you still want the money that could come from that, she's gonna, I hope she doesn't, but I think she's gonna go down the road of like trolling for attention. Because that was trolling for attention. That's what that video was. She knew what that was. And then you just have to start doing it more and more and more, and I hope it doesn't go that way. But I mean, fingers crossed. We just talked about the fact she went from family blogger to artist to podcaster to religious influencer to TikToker in like 18 months.
Yeah.
So hopefully she pivots again.
Just around the corner.
What do you think a more healthy next era would be for her?
Quietly living with her husband and baby and getting a lot of therapy.
Boo, Rosie, boo. I want her to join a reality TV show. I'm not sure which
Traders.
one. Traders. Oh, I would love
she'd be so
to see
good on
Gypsy
your
Rose Blanchard. She would be so good because she has grown up just manipulating people. And so like it was a role she was born to play.
They'd have to make her a trader.
They would have to make her a trader. Oh, she'd be so effing good on the Traders.
I love that. Yeah, that's it.
Please, Gypsy.
The way we all just responded.
Next era is your Traders era.
Okay, that was just the gist mini of whatever the hell is going on with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I know it was different to the kinds of ones we normally do, but today I was honestly to James, I was like, this one's going to be not so structured, more of a conversation, but we need to talk about Gypsy.
Yeah. And if you haven't listened to our Gypsy Rose episode, go back and listen to that. If you are in the Gist in the Club, go and listen to our Gypsy Rose book club episodes as well.
Yeah, because that's a really we really go into a lot of detail about her book, which is, about her life. So you get a very detailed breakdown of her whole situation. And it's fascinating. She's a nuanced, fascinating person.
Amazing.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, Simon.
Thanks, Simon.
This has been one of my greatest honors.
Yay! Okay. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Just the Gist, a Just the Network production. Executive produced and hosted by me, Rosie Waterland. Produced and edited by James Joseph with additional production support from JTG team Kate Lever and Hayley Stavely and Acast legends Guy Scott Wilson and Simon McDermott. Looking for breaking news? It drops on the Just the Gist Patreon every Tuesday, along with a whole lot of other bonus audio, video, and behind-the-scenes content, which you can access for just $1, $1 a week by clicking the link in the show notes or searching Just the Gist Podcast on Patreon. Follow Just the Gist on Instagram and TikTok at Just the Gist Podcast, and watch the video version of every episode on our YouTube channel, also at, funnily enough, Just the Gist Podcast. Follow Rosie, that's me, in all of the places at Rosie Waterland. Want to give us a suggestion? Tell Rosie to stop singing so much? Email us at hello@justthegist.com.au. Thank you, as always, for listening. Now go say something impressive at a dinner party. Bye.